Hello and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'd like to thank those of you who've watched the videos and have liked them and have subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much. I'll keep making the videos if you keep watching them. Also, thank you very much to Vector Air, Julie, Carl, Luke, Craig and of course Tina. And thank you very much to the team at Atherton Indoor Range. That's Steve, Dennis and Jeff. So I'm back here at Atherton doing the follow-up video on the AGT Manul. Now that I've had some time to test it and see what the pistol is fully capable of, I will say that I'm pleasantly surprised that this pistol is obviously sub 12 in the UK, sub 6 foot-pound, sorry. This thing shoots out to 30 yards, which is amazing. And it groups quite nicely at 30 yards. So I'm really surprised at that. But then again, am I, because it's an AGT. I do want to talk about a couple of things on the pistol that I've done here and the reason why I've done them. And I want to talk about a few foibles or kind of niggles, for want of a better phrase, that I found with the pistol. And then after that, I'll give you an insight into what it did when I shot 50 pellets over a chronograph, and then once I've done that, we'll shoot some targets out at 15 yards and 30 yards to show you what the pistol is capable of. I mean, the first thing I wanted to say was in my unboxing with the IMI Defense grip, I tried to get this off one-handed I wanted to just open it now on camera just to say that this is, first of all, the way that you need to remove this basically quite firmly slotted piece of plastic to be able to remove the screw in there using an Allen key if you wanted to ever remove the grip, but be mindful that you need something with the beaver tail over here. And I know that there are people that have changed the grips on their Manuls already, which is fine, but you can use this to store, for example, the single shot tray or the drum if you decide to replace this with the single shot tray, and or the filling probe as well. So just you could put them in some bubble wrap or something like that and then store them in there, which makes everything nice and portable for you. Another thing that I've done is I've actually taken off the front sight and put this ZB mount rail on here, which has adjustments for windage and for height as well. And the reason why I've done that is because I put this Bugbuster scope on 3:9 by 32 on here, and the reason why I've done that is because I'm going to be shooting the pistol out between 15 and 30 yards, and I want to give myself some chance of eliminating shooter error so I can show you what the pistol's fully capable of. What else is cool on here? The fact that this cylinder is 50cc and it goes up to 250 bar. Now, I won't lie, I've shot quite a few pellets through this already. I haven't got an exact count, but at the moment I'm predicting this thing will do over 250 pellets, potentially from 250 bar to 100 bar, even though it's a 50cc tank. So for anyone who's got a Manul and who's shot it down from 250 to 100 bar, please feel free to add the comments and give me more specific information on how many pellets it shoots. Something that I think it's worth being mindful of is this magazine drum. It's got some sharp edges on here which are quite annoying, unfortunately. So whenever you rotate the drum for putting pellets in, so for example I've put the cocking lever up and I'm rotating the drum, you either do it like this or you use your thumb, and be mindful that if you're using your thumb you've got less chance to cut yourself, but if you're using your finger like this to rotate it, these edges are quite sharp and they can catch your finger, so please be mindful of that. I'm just going to dry fire it. Oh sorry, this is another issue as well. I don't know if you saw the drum got caught on the pellet probe there, and that can happen sometimes if you accidentally don't fill up all of the drums, or you've miscalculated whether or not you finished the drum and sometimes you're trying to cock it and sometimes the pellet probe does get stuck in that fashion. So just very quickly, I'm going to talk about how loud this thing is again. The pistol is cocked and I'm going to fire it, and that is really, really loud. So something to be mindful of if you are planning on shooting this in your back garden or the vicinity of neighbours. Be mindful about that you're going to have to replace this with the adapter, which allows you to put a 1/2" UNF threaded moderator, silencer, whatever you want to call it, on there. Another thing I'm not too keen on is the cocking lever having to lift it up rather than, for example, lifting it up this way rather than pushing it down with your thumb this way and then lifting it back up, because then I could simply just keep my finger and essentially hold this grip and use my thumb to flick the cocking lever down and lift it back up using my thumb and then shoot, rather than having to use this hand to do it, because I can't essentially lift this cocking lever with my thumb like this. I have to use my hand like this. So what would have been useful is if I could have just used my thumb to be able to do this, which means that I could have essentially held the pistol like this and also be able to use a red dot over here or even this scope setup to be able to shoot stuff like targets. And from the perspective of not having to take my hand off here to cock the pistol, and then when I cock the pistol, watch what happens. Like if I'm doing this, see how intrusive it is. So you have to really move your face away to be able to come down. So forget about continuous shooting. Also be mindful that there will be someone who comes along and makes third-party 3D printed add-ons, which I'm sure I've seen them for example, the Reximex Mito, and I'm sure someone's going to do a cylinder add-on here, so you can put a Picatinny rail here, which means that if you can put a pick rail on here, there'll be a bipod attachment. You can put your bipod on the pick rail as well. So I'm waiting for that, although it would have been nice if there was some form of attachment in the box so that could have plugged on and given users the option to put a bipod on here and shoot off bipod, for example. Just trying to think, was there anything else I wanted to comment on before I move on to the chrono results? I think that without the scope and without this mount, the pistol is really, as I said to you in my previous video, it's really nice, nicely balanced when you're holding it, extended outwards. So I was really, really impressed with that. I thought as well, just very quickly, someone made a comment about this being like the Rolls-Royce of rotational protectors for the air probe, and to be fair, it just rotates and makes a squeaky noise. So I wouldn't say it's the Rolls-Royce of rotational protectors for the air probe. But overall, functionally, I think, oh, I forgot to mention, sorry, here we go, the trigger. So I don't think the trigger's as special as it could be, in fairness. As I mentioned, it feels like it's plastic. It doesn't feel like a metal item. And in fairness, from my perspective, I would have liked this to have been more refined for a pistol of this caliber, of this price range. So something to be mindful of. Not to say that it doesn't function well, it does. You know, it's got a nice first stage and a crisp release second stage, but as refined as it could be, no, it could be more refined, especially for the price. So, yeah. What I'm going to do now is just park the pistol here for a moment and bring over the chrono results. So, earlier today, I put 50 AA Diablo fields through this, 8.4, 4.52s. There was a low of 4.5 foot-pound, a high of 5.6 foot-pound, average of 5 foot-pound, a spread of 1.1 and a standard deviation of 0.3. Now looking at these results, I would say the pistol could be shooting slightly more powerfully at over here we've got something like 5.5. It would have been nice if that was the consistent shot count of around 5.5, something edging slightly towards the 6 foot-pound limit here in the UK. So, but not to say that in terms of the pistol and the standard deviation of 0.3 is not a bad thing at all. Okay, so what I will do now is take the pistol and I'm going to mount it over here in this sponge, and also use this backrest over here for the grip to essentially keep the pistol as stable as I can and shoot it out, first of all at 15 yards and then at 30 yards, just to show you what the pistol is capable of. And I know that I've got this scope, and I've seen other reviewers, no names mentioned, just use a red dot, being able to shoot out at 30 yards further, but unfortunately my eyesight isn't what it used to be. So here we go. I'm going to first of all put the target out to 15 yards. And I'm going to shoot that target there at 15 and the bottom one at 30. Now once the target's going out, we're going to load the pistol. So over here, what you do is lift the cocking lever, and then I may have rotated the drum earlier, so let's see. What you do is you load the pellets in to the drum as it's sat there, and then what you do is you just rotate the drum and then load them at the top as they go along until the drum no longer rotates anymore. And then in this 177 caliber, it takes 7 pellets, and you keep rotating it until that's it. It no longer rotates, and at that point you know it's ready to go. So I didn't mention earlier, there's no safety on here, and that's another drawback. I think that's one of the major things. There's no safety on here at all, which I'm really surprised at. I would have thought that this pistol would have had some form of consideration towards safety, but no, it doesn't have one. So that's something that please be mindful of. Okay, so the target's out at 15. I said I would shoot the bottom one. I think I'll shoot the bottom one at 15 and the top one at 30. Okay, bear with me. And while I get everything set up, there we go. Just had to make a few corrections because the scope was set to shoot at 30 yards. So let me shoot this at 15 first. I'm aiming at the ball, but I'm aiming at the ball, but I'm going to keep the same point of impact. I'm aiming at the ball and it's shooting high. I want to group this to show you what it's grouping out at 15. It's literally just going through the same hole. I don't know if you saw the fact that I'm having to move my face away and then move it back, and like I said, it would be nice if I could keep my face here and then somehow just use my thumb to be able to cock the lever to rotate the drum, and that way it can just stay where I am and shoot. That's something that would have been nice to have had that as a consideration. Okay, so I've shot the first target out at 15 and I'm going to basically put it out to 30. And let's see, I'm going to see how I do. So the target's now going out at 30. And I'm going to load the pistol again. And I'm using, just as a reminder, I'm using the Air Arms Diablo Field. From having shot the pistol with a few different types of pellets, I actually found that it actually likes these. Okay. Okay. Right. Now, again, make the adjustments for 30. Here you go. Interesting. Let's bring it back. Here are some groups very quickly from before when I was practicing. So that's a 30-yard group using the same pellets. That's a 30-yard group. That was the best one I got, was this one and that one over there. So the bottom one was at 15 and the top one is at 30. And to be fair, I know I can do better at 30 than at that group. But the 15 group, not too bad. And the 30, if I took my time, I think, definitely. In fact, whilst we're on camera, we've got one more target there. Let me try 30 one more time and see how we get on. So I'm going to quickly load this again. That's the thing with this pistol though, it's one of those pistols that once you've shot 7 rounds, you're just very eager to go again and again and again. And as an example, this was a full tin of pellets today. And yeah, this is where I'm up to now. Okay, let's try again. Just positioning the scope, the pistol, sorry, because we're shooting the right hand target. Oops. That was me. Yeah, definitely that last shot. You'll see it shortly. I was a bit eager beaver on the trigger. But still. Not gonna lie, it is really fun gun to shoot. The fact that I put this little bug buster scope on here does give you an advantage, but I can imagine this coming into its own at 10 to 15 meters, absolutely. And the fact that I'm pushing it out. So it wasn't the bottom target, that was used before for sighters. And the target on the far left hand side is the one I pulled right at the very end there. And I said, oops, that's me. And I said, oops, that's me. That's what I did earlier. And that was the oops. I think there was a ricochet over there, interesting. But yeah, that was the group again at 30 there. Not too bad. Ignore that one, because that was definitely me. But that's not too bad either. So, the fact that this is literally, just remind myself, shooting at an average of 5 foot-pounds, and we're getting this at 30 yards from a pistol. Wow. And, yeah, to be fair, like I said, I've not had a chance to try out an extensive amount of pellets. I've tried 3 different types, H&N field targets, these and some JSB exacts, and these the best again through with more thorough time for pellet testing. These groups will get tighter finding the right pellets. So I'm not gonna lie, I am impressed with this, and I would jump all over this. It's just like I said in my last video, the only thing that's stopping me at the moment is that it's an expensive bit of kit. It's a very nice pistol. In fact, probably one of the nicest pistols I've ever shot. But at the same time, I have to consider that from my perspective, for the price, for a little bit more, I could get a premium air rifle, and slightly less. There are air rifles out there which cost less than this, which I would be keen to buy as well. So yeah, something to factor in. If you are definitely enthusiast of AGT, this is right up your street. If you are an air pistol enthusiast and you are wanting something that basically with refinement and getting to know the pistol, you're going to shoot this thing out 30 yards and further, yep, this is definitely for you. You know what, let's see, it's one of those things that when this goes back to the kind team at Vector Air, I might start to miss it, and then I may wish to have bought it, but then at the same time there's lots of new things coming out, so we'll just have to wait and see. But you make up your mind from what you've seen. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments. But for now, thank you very much to, again, Vector Air for letting me do the review on the Manul. Thank you very much to the team at Atherton Indoor Range, and thank you for all watching the videos and liking and subscribing to the channel. I have got some more videos on the way soon, and yeah, some very, very cool new items on the way. Let's say that, one of which I ordered today, so I'm very keen to try it out as soon as it arrives, and you'll see it first on the channel here. But until then, look after yourselves, take care, and thank you very much for tuning in. See you soon.